Bring the good old bugle, boys, we'll sing another song. Sing it with the spirit that will start the world along. Sing it as we used to sing it, 50,000 strong, while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, please bring the
This is Talk Sport. We are the two mics. It is time, of course, for the Porky quiz. And listening to that music, you'll know that it's something to do with the
Deep
history
South.
Of the Deep South and the American Civil War.
Yep.
A subject that you requested.
Yep.
A subject that you say you're an expert in.
Yes.
A subject that I no doubt you've been researching over the last couple of days.
No need to.
Okay. As ever, if you get one answer correct,
Yes.
you will hear this sound.
Commit fire!
Yes.
And if you get one wrong, you'll hear this sound.
You're the worst soldier in this whole company, now hit me!
I see. Okay,
Ready?
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is, having cast my eye over these questions, they're all fairly scholastic questions, actually. So I don't think you've got any grounds for complaint on this particular occasion.
Okay.
Question number one.
Yeah.
What was the Civil War also known as?
I beg your pardon?
What was the Civil War also known as? Why are you looking at me like that?
The American Civil War
Yeah.
is one of the most famous engagements of conflict in the history of the world.
Yes.
And it was known as the American Civil War.
Okay.
Right.
You're not going to tell me the answer then?
Well, I don't know what the question is.
The question is, what was it also known as? For example, not that I'm giving you any kind of a clue
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You know, the First World War is known by other names, isn't
The
it?
Great War.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So some wars have got other names. What is it also known as?
The American Civil War.
Yeah.
I have never known it to be called anything except the Civil War.
Okay. So I'll have
to
to
the
say,
Americans, it's known as the Civil War.
I'll have to say that's incorrect then.
Well, in that case, I don't know what the question was.
Well,
You're the worst soldier in this whole company, now hit
Well,
me!
when I tell you the answer, you'll know. The answer is the war between the states. That's
Well,
what it's also
that's
known
utterly
as.
ridiculous.
That's what it's also known as.
It's not also known as that.
I've just got the questions here. That's the answer.
Outside of America, it's known as the American Civil War. Inside America, it's known as the Civil War.
Also known as the war between the states.
Rubbish.
Question number 2.
Nonsense.
Which act started the Civil War?
Which act started the Civil War?
Yeah.
It was the Abolition of Slavery Act.
Incorrect.
No, it's not. That was
You're the worst soldier in
1860.
this whole company, now hit me!
Incorrect.
No, what do you say it
It's
was?
the bombardment of Fort Sumter in South Carolina on April the 12th, 1861.
That wasn't an act passed in Parliament,
Well, no,
you
but
idiot.
it's an act. It's something that happened. That's what the word act means.
Right, I knew that. I absolutely knew
Well, why
that
did you say so?
it started with the bombardment of Fort Sumter in 1861.
well, I just told you that.
When the Union garrison retreated to Fort Sumter against the Confederate troops.
Yeah.
But the act that you
Well, which act started the Civil War? That's what happened.
the act is an act of Parliament and an act of Congress. That's what I thought you were talking about.
I can't believe that you
No, I'm sorry.
misinterpreted it.
I'm sorry. You misworded that question.
No, I didn't. I don't word the question.
I absolutely know why the war started. Of
Well,
course, I knew why the war started in
I'm sorry.
1861. Fort Sumter.
I'm sorry, you gave me the wrong answer.
Yeah, I did not. You
0 out of 2.
You did not use the right word. You should have said what incident led to or started
I'm
the
sorry.
Civil War.
Would you like to rephrase the questions before you answer them?
Well, I just a stupid question.
All right.
You said what act?
All right.
It was
Question
the
number
Abolition
3.
of Slavery Act passed in Congress in
I'm
1860.
told I have to move on now. I don't want to get so worked
Ridiculous,
up about.
stupid nonsense question.
Question number 3. I don't know how many ways you'd like me to interpret this one for you. How many men died in the Civil War?
The original estimate was 660,000. That's been revised since to up to 750,000. Some historians say it could be as many as 900,000. The generally accepted figure is between 660 and 750,000.
Incorrect.
No,
You're
it's
the worst
not.
soldier in this whole company, now hit
The
me!
generally accepted figure is 620.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Another rubbish
Well, it's
question.
not. It's not.
Utter
600
utter rubbish.
620. Question number
drivel,
4. You're not doing
drivel,
very well here.
drivel.
Question number 4.
Well, you're not asking me the
these are-
questions
these are very
properly.
straightforward
no,
questions.
it's not. You're a thickhead
Well,
because
so now I'm not asking them the
question
right way.
number 2 was worded so badly I misunderstood it.
Question number 4. All right, I'll try and read them slowly so that you can
You don't have
understand.
to read them slowly. You have to read them in English.
All right, it's one in English. At the start of the war, 9 million people lived in the South. Right?
Right.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
At the beginning of the war, 9 million people lived in the South.
Yes.
As it was known.
Yes.
How many of them were slaves?
Out of the 9 million people who lived in the South, 6.3 million of them were slaves.
How many?
6.3 million.
Incorrect.
No,
You're
it's
the worst
not.
soldier in this whole company, now hit me!
4 million of them were slaves.
No, it's not. That's rubbish.
It's
That's
not rubbish.
nonsense.
No,
That's
it's not.
nonsense. I don't know who's researched these questions, but they're ridiculous.
Well, question number 5. So far you got 0 out of 4. Abraham Lincoln was president during the Civil War.
Yeah.
What was his occupation before he entered politics?
Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah.
before he entered politics,
Yes.
What's the relevance of that? That's not relevant to the Civil War at all.
Well, it's part of the Civil War quiz.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No,
Well,
it's
he
not.
was president during the Civil War.
He became president in 1860. The war started in 1861.
Yeah.
And before
So what did
1860...
he do that before? Before he was in politics, what did he do?
Well, he was a farmer.
Incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect.
It's not right.
No, it's not. It's not. It's right.
It's not right.
Right, what do you think it is?
It's not what I think it is. It's
Yeah.
what it was here. You could have
You're
either
the worst
had...
soldier in this whole company. Now he me.
He was a shopkeeper
Yeah.
and a lawyer.
Yeah, and he was
Could have
also a
either of
farmer.
those. No,
He lived on a farm.
No, he was not
lived
a
on a
farmer.
farm in Maryland.
No, incorrect.
No, I know.
Question number 6.
This is rubbish, yeah?
Who was appointed president of the southern states?
That would have been Jefferson.
That's one name.
Well, that was his surname, Jefferson. President Jefferson.
You going with that?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
No.
You're the worst soldier in this whole company. Now he me.
His name was former US Senator Jefferson Davis.
Yeah, that's right. He's known
Jefferson
as-
was not his surname.
He was known as President Jefferson.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
Well, why was Lincoln not known as President Abraham?
Well, I don't know, but in the southern states, that's what they called him.
No,
President
incorrect.
Jefferson.
Question number 7.
No, that was right. Yeah, go on.
Where was the last battle of the Civil War fought?
The last battle of the Civil War was fought in 1865. It was Appomattox. You're laughing at.
Incorrect.
No, it's not.
You're the worst soldier in
Well,
this
it's
whole
not-
company.
What
Now
do
he
you think
me.
it is?
It's not what I think it is. It's what it was. It's
What?
Palmito Ranch, Texas, May 13th, 1865.
No, that's wrong. That's
not wrong.
That wasn't a battle. That was a skirmish.
No, right, okay.
It was a skirmish,
You haven't done
seriously.
any research on this at all, have you?
I have. You have a look at the last battle. According to
Well,
historians, it was Appomattox.
Appomattox
I know it was, yeah.
was not the last battle.
It was.
That was in April. This
Yeah.
was in May.
I know, and Appomattox was a battle in April, and the one you're talking about on a ranch, it was just on a farm, was a skirmish. It wasn't a battle.
Well, I've got
no,
I've got
I don't
the,
accept it.
I've got that.
No,
as-
this
as
is.
me.
I don't know who's drawn up these questions. I suspect it's you, but they're all
It's not
rubbish
me at all.
questions.
Question number
Complete
8.
nutter rubbish.
You're going to like this one. How many words was the Gettysburg Address?
The Gettysburg Address lasted 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and it was no more than 720 words.
Incorrect.
No,
You're the
it's
worst
not.
soldier in this
No, it's
whole
not.
company. Now he
It
me.
was 269 words.
Yeah, that's right. But-
Very short.
Yeah, but there was a prelim and a postscript to it.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, right.
Yes.
What does the prelim say?
that he was about to deliver the Gettysburg Address.
That's not really words, is it?
No,
That
no,
would
no,
get
no.
it from 269 up
No,
to 700.
no, it would.
And what, well, if you had the bit on at the end, that was the Gettysburg Address from President Lincoln.
No,
Another 5 words.
no. He explained at the end why he gave the address. Yeah.
You've
Right.
got you got a possibility of getting 2 out of 10 here.
No, it's rubbish.
Question
This is
number
rubbish.
9.
Yeah.
Who was known as the Angel of the Battlefields and later went on to form the American Red Cross?
Well, it wasn't Florence Nightingale, right?
I can't help you.
No. Or was it Florence Nightingale? No, let me think.
She was the Lady of the
1863.
Lamp, wasn't she?
The Lady of the Lamp. That was in 1863 as
Different
well.
war as well.
Who's this mysterious person?
Known as Angel of the Battlefield.
Angel of the Battlefield.
Yeah.
Formed the Red Cross. That was probably. I reckon that was probably. I know who that was. That was Mrs. Lincoln.
You're the worst soldier in this whole company. Now he
What are
me.
you laughing
So
at?
it wasn't Mrs. Jefferson.
No, it wasn't Mrs. Jefferson, you idiot. I
No.
got that right.
It's
Yeah.
Clara Barton.
Clara Barton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is spectacularly bad, even for you.
Yeah,
Now
rubbish.
you've got a chance of making 1 out of 10. Question number 10.
Yeah.
And I'll accept in old money,
Yeah.
i.e. the amount of money it cost them in reality then.
Yeah.
Or in money, in today's money, right?
Right.
What was the estimated cost of the war?
To who?
To America.
What, to the Union side, to the Confederates?
All told. All in.
Well, that's impossible to evaluate.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it
It's
is.
been evaluated.
Are we talking about in terms of military hardware that was bought?
The cost of the war. I mean, people talk about the cost of the Second World War, don't they?
No.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Of course they do.
You can't cost a war.
Yes, you can.
Right, so you're
People
asking
talk
me.
about how much it costs to go into Iraq.
Right, okay.
What was the estimated cost of the war?
The estimated cost of
And you
the...
have to tell me whether you're giving me it in today's money
Right.
or in money in those days.
The cost of the war in money in those days,
Yeah.
right, was $500 million.
Incorrect.
No, it's not.
You're the worst soldier in this whole company. Now hit me!
What?
$6.19 billion in those days.
Oh, no, that's in these days.
No,
that's in these days, which is the equivalent figure to the one I gave you.
No, in these days, it is the equivalent figure to $146 billion.
No, that's
Yes,
impossible.
It's not impossible.
Impossible.
So I'm afraid to say, unaccustomed as I am to announcing this,
Yes.
0 out of 10.
Well, that's rubbish. No, you couldn't even ask them. You couldn't even ask them in English.
Nothing.
You asked me
Zilch.
the second question was what act
Bugger all.
led to the Civil War. So of course I said it was the act in Congress of abolishing slavery.
Well, you misinterpreted it.
No, you absolutely
even if you'd managed,
directed the whole question.
Well, even if you managed to get that one right, you got 1 out of 10.
No, I didn't, because I got President Jefferson as well.
And the act of slavery was nowhere near the beginning of the war anyway.
It was.
It was at the end of the war.
It wasn't, you idiot. Why
Yeah,
do you think that? Why do you think the southern states said we're not having it? The Confederates, said...
No, but the reason there was a war was because of slavery.
And by the way...
The reason there was a war was because of slavery,
I know more about the Civil War than most people, because actually abolition of slavery wasn't the issue that started the Civil War.
Really?
The issue that started the Civil War was... No, Abraham Lincoln said, look, unless we expand the economy
President Abraham.
President Abraham. Unless we expand the economy to bring in the 1/3 of this country, which is dominated by slavery, we can't expand the economy.
Only 1/3 of this country works. Is that what you're saying?
We can't expand the economy. You can't have 1/3 of this country where wealth is kept in the hands of 0.1% of the population and nobody else, i.e. the 6 million slaves, have got any spending power. So we've got to release them from slavery and make them consumers.
4 million slaves.
Make them consumers.
It was
there were
4
6 million. There were 6 million.
No,
Those figures are all wrong. That was trash. I don't know where you got your information from. These so-called invigilators are all bums.
Nothing.
And I refuse to recognise that as a quiz.
That was horrendously bad.
No, it wasn't.
Even for you.
No, it
the
wasn't.
worst performance ever on the American Civil War.
I don't accept
0 out of 10.